Okay, I want to take a look at a notation used to represent shaded regions on a number line. It's often very useful to discuss regions on a number line as opposed to single numbers. So we'll sort of combine the two ideas. Let me draw a number line here. Okay, so this number line is pretty crazy. You don't see something like this very often, or maybe never, but I should be able to fully discuss interval notation by showing you how to write all these shaded regions as in interval notation. So the first thing I want to do is sort of summarize interval notation. You use parentheses, either left or right parentheses, when you don't include an endpoint of an interval. An interval, of course, is something that is a full shaded region. It's a region, not a single dot. So you don't use parentheses when you have single dots. You can use left or right brackets when you do include the endpoint of an interval. Okay? So brackets mean when a point is shaded, that's included. You'll use a bracket there. If it's open, like this -5, you'll use a parenthesis there because those are endpoints of regions of intervals. Finally, you use braces for individual points. Individual points, not for intervals. So parentheses and brackets are used for intervals, braces are used for individual points, and finally we use the union symbol, the uppercase U, we use the union symbol to join separate regions, let's say. Separate regions or separate intervals. Okay, so one way to write this, we have one region here, then we'd have whatever that is, we'll put that in a minute, union, the next region, then we have that union, this next point, then we have that union, this next region, union, the next point, union, the next region. So we have all these unions. Now we just have to figure out what each of these individual parts looks like. So this first region, when you do interval notation, you find the left endpoint of the region or the interval, and you start with that. Well, this region is shaded forever to the left, so we like to call that negative infinity. So I'll put negative infinity, that's our left endpoint, comma. The right endpoint is where it ends, so that's at -5. The next region has a left endpoint of the number 7 and a right endpoint of 10. The next region is simply the number 12. The next region's left endpoint is 15 and the right endpoint is 20. The next region's number is simply 22, and the next region's left endpoint is 30, and since it goes forever to the right, it goes to positive infinity or just infinity. Now we have to go back through and use parentheses, brackets, or braces where necessary. So any place I have an interval, I'll use parentheses or brackets. So let's go through the intervals. In this first interval, since you can never actually reach negative infinity, you'll never actually touch it, negative infinity is not actually shaded here. So we're going to put a parenthesis there. And notice I opened it to the left, or sorry, to the right, because this is the left side of the interval notation. -5, we don't actually reach either. It's not shaded, so we use parenthesis there. 7, we do reach and we shade, so that has a bracket. 10 is not shaded, parenthesis. 12 is a single point, we'll skip that for now. 15 and 20 are not included. 22 is a single point, we'll skip it for now. 30 is included. Infinity we can never shade or reach, so that has parenthesis. Now we go back, and every single individual number we simply enclose in braces because they don't have left or right endpoints. So this is one way to write the interval notation for what we have shaded there. Another way is anytime you have single points, you can put those together in one set of braces, separating them by comma and giving any order that you want. So here's another way to write this. So the big difference here is I've combined my two single numbers together in one set of braces. Order does not matter.